Okay, I apologize for what happened in the last video when it ended. It ended with technical difficulties, but you didn't really miss much, except John Cena celebrating his win. But with that said, hey guys, Taju22 here, and welcome to the main event of SmackDown. This show, as well as the main event, has been brought to you by MuchGames.ca, and up next is for the WWE Championship, and it will be contested in a ladder match. So you have the champion, The Rock, and you have the Rumble winner from earlier tonight, Brodus Clay. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I would not have thought Brodus Clay would win. Not so much because, well, he's one of those, you know, he's big and strong, don't get me wrong, but he's not one of those guys that you would count on to be the champion. Like, you would not build a company around this guy, really, to be perfectly honest with you. But, you know, he won the Rumble match, so he earns the right to face The Rock for the title. So with that said, we'll find out if Brodus Clay can beat The Rock in a ladder match. Alright, match underway, and already Brodus Clay is going to take it to The Rock, but the object of this match is to grab a ladder and use it to get to the belt. I mean, you can beat each other all you want, but that's not going to get it done. So The Rock, I mean, he'll have to use his speed, and the fact that he has a high center of gravity. You know, the thing about Brodus Clay is, yeah, he's big and strong, but a ladder match does not favor a guy as big as Brodus Clay. Simply because, I mean, he's so freaking big, man. Look at him. Although right now he's taking it right to The Rock, and if you're Brodus Clay, you want to soften The Rock You want to soften The Rock up as much as you can before you try to go up that ladder. Otherwise, The Rock is going to knock the ladder off, and then the gravity will work against you if you're Brodus Clay. And if you're The Rock, you just want to try to survive as much as you can. Not to say that Clay can tear him apart, but I would have to think that the longer this match goes, the more it would favor The Rock, only because of the cardiovascular conditioning of The Rock. And you know, The Rock says that, and I quote, you know, so what if this fat tub of goo won the Rumble? But now he is going to go one-on-one with the Great One, and it doesn't matter how big he is. Along those lines, The Rock said, and, you know, I would have to think it does matter how big he is, really. As he takes down The Rock with another spine buster. I mean, if you're The Rock, you gotta be careful. I mean, you can't get careless, especially against a guy as big as Brodus Clay, as he drops that elbow on The Rock. Because we could be looking at our next champion right here, right now. Brodus, you're supposed to set the ladder in the ring. You know what, folks? He's proven my point. You know, he's not exactly... He doesn't look the part, and he sure as hell is not using his brain. As The Rock delivers a Samoan drop onto Brodus Clay. And an STO onto The Rock. So far, Brodus Clay is doing everything except getting the ladder and climbing it inside the ring. Although The Rock is going to take the fight to Brodus Clay. And he's going to whip him inside the ring. Elbow right to the head of Brodus Clay. So yes, this is our championship matchup. And to be perfectly honest with some of you people, this is not the championship match I would have expected, especially... I mean, you have The Rock, which is great, but then you have Brodus Clay, and, you know, especially in the WWE, I mean, in the WWE, what has he done? He has not won a championship, and he certainly has not won a lot of matches. I mean, just the fact that he even won is just a minor miracle on his part. But he is taking it right to The Rock, so I guess that's all I have to say about Brodus Clay. And out goes The Rock, but instead of going for the title, he just goes after The Rock. I mean, unless he has a plan to put away The Rock for good, he's just not using his head right now. Well, except for that headbutt there. And, oh, okay. Oh, and another headbutt to The Rock. Whips him into the barricade, and yet he's still continuing to use his head. I mean, at this rate, I mean, The Rock is not going to be able to use his head simply because he just keeps getting headbutted by Brodus Clay. Because he keeps picking him up, and he keeps ramming him until there. Well, now he rams him into the post. I guess he really is trying to hurt The Rock a lot worse, but The Rock takes him down with that forearm. I mean, right now The Rock is clutching his head simply because of what Brodus Clay did to him. And then a float over DDT onto the floor, onto Brodus Clay. And now what's The Rock gonna do? Nope. Thrown into the barricade again. Oh, thrown into the ladder. Thrown into the barricade again. And now Brodus Clay gets thrown into the barricade and gets headbutted himself. Thrown into the barricade and headbutted, and a headbutt to The Rock. Oh, rammed into the post was Brodus Clay. Although The Rock actually controls it. Thrown into the barricade is Brodus Clay. And then a headbutt to Brodus Clay, so turnabout is fair play. Oh, I get it. Now The Rock is going to go right back into the ring and, well, never mind. I actually thought he was going to... Well, then again, The Rock's head is hurt himself, so I guess it shouldn't surprise me one bit that, you know, he is a bit woozy at this point, is The Rock. I mean, look at The Rock. I mean, he can't even think straight. But he goes back in the ring. Oh, okay. Alright, now both men are back in the ring. Thrown onto the outside of The Rock, and once again, Brodus Clay does not go for the championship. I mean, he could have just went for the championship right then and there, and now The Rock... Well, never mind. I guess The Rock is a bit woozy himself. He doesn't even know what to do. I mean, The Rock is woozy, and Brodus Clay is Brodus Clay is an idiot. I'm sorry. He really is. Because he had a chance to go after the championship several times, and he just went after The Rock instead. Well, he chokes out The Rock. And The Rock is just so woozy. I mean, look at him. He doesn't know what to do. And thrown outside the ring again is The Rock. And again, Brodus Clay just continues to make the same mistake and not going after the championship. Ooh, rammed into the table was The Rock. And rammed into the steps was The Rock. Rammed into the barricade was The Rock. I mean, right now, as far as Rock is concerned, I think the only thing on his mind is survival, because he's just been getting destroyed by Brodus Clay. I mean, that's the thing about Brodus Clay. I mean, he does everything but go for the win. And that's pretty much what costs him every match. I mean, just when you think Brodus Clay can put away many men, which he had the potential to, more often than not, I think the biggest weakness as far as Brodus Clay is concerned, I mean, yeah, he's a monster and you know, he can do a lot of damage, but the problem is that he doesn't go for the win as often as he doesn't go for the win as often as he should. And that's what costs him many matches, because usually his opponents would capitalize on the stupid mistakes that Brodus Clay would make. And The Rock is just, look at him, he's woozy. He can't even stand up straight. Oh, whoa, what a ricochet. I mean, he went into the steps and then his head bounced into the post. Was Brodus Clay, but Brodus Clay got up though. I guess for someone to do that, I mean, I guess you really must not have a brain. But both men are back inside the ring. I mean, look at this. Brodus is... He's really trying to hurt The Rock, but that's not the object of this game. You have to climb the ladder. And the fans are chanting The Rock's name. Oh, and headfirst into the table. And whipped into the barricade. Then into the table. And now The Rock is just gonna get back in the ring. Although, you know, every time The Rock gets back in the ring, he somehow just goes back out. I don't get that. I mean, you would try to win. You would try to go for the win as much as you can, if you can. I mean, it's one thing to be forced away from the ring, but to not go for the victory when you have the chance, it's just pure stupidity. But at the same time, these two men are just... Wait a minute. Oh, and a spear right through the barricade onto The Rock, and I think The Rock might be broken in half. I mean, right now Brodus has destroyed The Rock. Now all he has to do... Really? Are you gonna dance? Damn it, get back in the ring. Wow, that is just pure stupidity. And wait, a T-bone suplex right up against the broken barricade. But instead of going for the win, he just decided to dance and then give The Rock a T-bone suplex, which again just goes to show how purely stupid Brodus is. I mean, look at that. He could have just went for the ladder and tried to get the title. But no, he wants to hurt The Rock even more. And he calls that the G grip, does Brodus Clay. Ooh, rammed into the post. And rammed into the post again was The Rock. And it looks as if Brodus has The Rock right where he wants him. Now he's going to use the ladder. And he's going to finally set it up. And now... Yeah, look at that. I mean, he set up the ladder, but The Rock was there. Now, The Rock is going to climb the ladder. But the fact that he's losing a lot of blood as it is, yeah, The Rock did the right thing by getting down before Brodus would take him down. And then a back elbow onto Brodus Clay, and rock bottom onto Brodus Clay. Well, now if you're The Rock, well, never mind. I was going to say if you're The Rock, you would try to go for the win, but Brodus Clay, of course, is in much better shape than The Rock, if only because The Rock is busted open, and then a big splash onto The Rock. And right now, The Rock's reign as WWE Champion it's not looking good. Although, as far as Brodus Clay is concerned, several times in this matchup, he has had the opportunity to go up the ladder and grab the title, but he has not done that. And why does he keep going in and out? I don't get that either. But a clothesline onto Brodus Clay. And right now, as far as The Rock, if you're The Rock, you're just fighting for survival right now. And a back suplex onto Brodus Clay. And The Rock is going to set it up, although I don't know why you would do that. And The Rock goes back inside, and so does Brodus Clay. A belly-to-belly suplex onto The Rock. Oh, what? I guess he wants to really put him away. Does Brodus Clay. Brodus, you can do something to The Rock, man. Wow, he was just standing there like an idiot. And The Rock is just going to go for an armbar on Brodus Clay, but... And I don't know how The Rock has the strength to do it, but... Nope, countered by Brodus Clay. And, well, in that case, Brodus... Well, actually uses his head, although, you know, physically, not... Or literally, not figuratively. And now, wait, what's he doing here? And, I apologize for the... There we go. Because he just grabbed The Rock by the legs and swung him, you know, just like Mario did to Bowser. And a backbreaker onto Brodus Clay. I mean, so far, both men have taken so much out of each other, but mainly Brodus taking a lot out of The Rock. I mean, nothing bad with this match, it's just that the missed opportunities that both these guys have had, but most of it is Brodus Clay being an absolute buffoon. And a counter by The Rock. And then a clothesline to Brodus Clay. Whipped over the top rope, and a suplex on a Brodus Clay. And then a spine buster to Brodus Clay. Although countered by Brodus Clay. And rock bottom onto Brodus Clay. Although The Rock is so badly hurt, I mean, you could just tell that he does not have his faculties there. And another Samoan drop. And then an elbow drop to Brodus Clay. And a whip into the corner, and whoa, he just used that big ass. And then follows it up with a half Nelson suplex. Well, now he's finally going to set up the ladder. And The Rock is going to climb the ladder. As is Brodus Clay. I mean, both guys have taken a lot out of each other, but The Rock is, you know, he's the one losing blood. I mean, who's going to fall down first? And Brodus, not looking good here. As he gets thrown off the ladder, and now The Rock, what a miracle! I cannot believe The Rock was able to pull it out, especially against a big opponent such as Brodus Clay. I mean, Brodus did everything right. I mean, he went after The Rock. He went after The Rock. He practically destroyed The Rock. The only thing he didn't do was use his head. Or actually he did, but he didn't use it the way he should have. The thing is, I mean, yeah, Brodus Clay did use a lot of headbutts onto The Rock, but he didn't use his head when he had several opportunities to do so, and he didn't do it. I mean, this is just an illustration of how absolutely stupid Brodus Clay really is. I mean, this is just his career in a nutshell. Yeah, I mean, he can dominate a match, but he never can seem to get the win, mainly because he wants to do more. And when he does once too many, like when he tries to go for the kill one too many times, his opponent finds a way to counter and somehow finds a way to win, just like The Rock did. And The Rock is still the WWE champion, and I'm very proud of that. I seriously am. But that's going to do it for SmackDown. Stay tuned for Heat. Until then, this is DeJew22 signing off. Have a great day, everybody.